Salzburg, who had an interesting North London derby yesterday. I'll bet his little heart's pumping now, Alan. Lee Dixon.
Yeah, that's right. Just waiting in there, probably just reassuring his two children not to be scared at the roar. Hopefully a big roar.
Here he comes. Wait for this.
To glamorous positions on the football field, defenders don't come high on the list, but quite rightly tonight Arsenal roll out the red and white carpet for a right back who is top of the list for loyalty and commitment. His two children, Joss, age 11, and Olivia, who is 9, can be rightly proud of their dad, and so too can all the Arsenal fans. Lorenzo Sanz, the president no less of Real Madrid, making a presentation. Arsene Wenger joining in the applause. Lee Dixon had to endure plenty of football heartaches before he came to Highbury in January 1988. Free transfers from Burnley and Chester just don't end up with testimonials against Real Madrid, but Lee has become an exception to that. George Graham paid Stoke City £350,000 for him. That was a small amount even then, and rarely has Arsenal's money been better spent. It's a strong Arsenal side tonight, lacking of course their England squad members. So Alex Manninger is in goal, and there is a former Real Madrid player up front in Davor Šuker. John Toshak has brought a strong side from Spain as well. Pretty much along the lines of the team that finally got back to winning ways in the league on Saturday in very difficult circumstances. Only Raul, who is amongst the substitutes of the fit first choice players, and I make that distinction because they do have a lot of injuries at the moment, and that is why Real have been struggling in the league. Just one win in 9 games against Rayo Vallecano on Saturday evening. That's in the league, of course. They've done very well in the Champions League. They've topped their group, with Steve McManaman missing out on a lot of that. But England will hope that the activity tonight will help sharpen him up for what lies ahead. And with his breath back, I'm delighted to welcome Ray Wilkins alongside me. First of all, Ray, did you enjoy the Legends clash?
Thoroughly enjoyed it, Martin. It was actually nice to get back onto a wonderful playing surface. But I've got to say, it's very pleasant to be sitting next to you this evening at Lee's testimony. I think it's a marvellous testimony to Lee that so many people have turned up at Highbury as well. What with the expense they've had to fork out over the last couple of months with Champions League, obviously league performances. But this is a marvellous turnout for him, and he thoroughly deserves it.
What are his essential qualities? What has made him this Highbury legend? 11 years here at right back.
Well, I think you've only got to look at the man now. He's probably fitter now than when he first joined the Arsenal, and it's testimony to all that back four. And David Seaman, of course, how well they've stayed over the last X amount of years. And Lee looks in great form. He's still sharp, and he's a good defender, and I think that's vitally important.
Well, he's not finished yet. He wants to earn an extension to his current deal at Highbury, which runs out at the end of this season. A memorable night for the Dixon family. In serious European competition, Arsenal has never come across Real Madrid. They were here for a friendly way back in 1962. In the famous all-white kit. So many great players down the years. Roberto Carlos amongst the current clan. But Ray won't remember this as well as I do, but Real Madrid set the standards for what was a novelty in the late 50s, European club football. The advent of floodlights made all that possible, and the famous all-white strip gleamed under those early lights, and 5 successive European Cups. The first 5 for Real Madrid. They've won it a couple of times since then. Once only a couple of years ago when Davor Schuker got a very late piece of it as a substitute. He rather fell out with John Toshak, so I don't know whether they'll be talking to each other tonight. Ray can testify, and has done, to the quality of the pitch.
I think it's that white strip as well, Martin. It always seems to have something slightly different. But it doesn't look like a normal white strip, this Real Madrid. And they invented it, and it really is theirs for keeping.
Silvinho, Manu Petit, Patrick Vieira. Both clubs have had a pretty tense weekend. Real Madrid came out on the right side of their tension on Saturday evening, although you wouldn't have bet on it when they went 2-0 down. And at 2-1 down, they lost the player Morientes, who's out here tonight, who was sent off. They won that game 3-2, and it's no exaggeration to say that kept John Toshak in his present job. A little delicate, the situation, he said to me when I spoke to him earlier today.
I think he's being completely honest, Martin, isn't he? It's always pretty volatile stuff when you're managing such a big club as Real Madrid. Obviously, when a couple of results go against you, then it becomes extremely difficult. But I'm sure John's a big enough man to cope with the situation here.
Peter Manneman playing as the fourth striker, really, to Morientes at the start. The flag has gone up, and Arsenal get an offside decision. That's no surprise, is it? Even in the testimonial match.
Yep. Tony must have taught them well. Matty Upson there.
I wonder whose arm will go up first. In the absence of Tony Adams.
It'll be his in his hotel room.
Silvinho on the gallop. Ivan Campo came on as a substitute on Saturday night for Hierro. One of the senior Real Madrid players, many times Spanish international Hierro, and he's also out tonight. Oh, they played themselves into trouble here. Schuker! Well, the goalkeeper, Cesare, who's an Argentine and found himself in the firing line in Spain, certainly found himself in the firing line here at Highbury.
On Davor's old swinger there, the right side, but an excellent save, Martin.
Bergkamp.
Excellent corner kick, wasn't it? Davor Super there, taking it with his left foot, pinging it right across the box there, and there's Dennis Bergkamp coming in late. And I thought that actually got a little nick again. Possibly another corner, but not to be.
Schuker trying to catch the goalkeeper off his line, and if that's a little taste of what's to come,
wonderful vision.
Sit back and enjoy it.
Wonderful vision. Here we see it once again. One touch, sees the keeper off his line, and there it is.
Manneman. Morientes, Seydorf, trying to become the third man in that move. Caught back here at Highbury. After an unhappy short journey to White Hart Lane yesterday. 2-1 they lost on goals. 9-11 they lost on the players on the pitch at the end. A great shame. Great shame.
For such as this testimonials like this, Martin, we actually see the silkier side of football. You see players prepared to display their array of skills, and out goes the physical contact, and in comes the extremely skillful play, and I'm sure we're in for a feast of it this evening.
Lee Dixon's off on a buccaneering run. The quick mover with a quick mind, and as a person he's got a lovely, dry, self-deprecating sense of humour. With many footballers, it's the way to survive the dressing room banter, I think. Bergkamp. Oh. He made a lot out of very little.
The way you keep moving the ball, the ball's always off its line. A tremendous skill from Dennis. He gets half a yard, and it's a good stop once again from Bizzarri.
Petit. Gilles Grimondi and Matthew Upson, the two centre-backs for Arsenal to start tonight. Freddie Ljungberg. He's had some support today from David Ginola about Ljungberg's red card from David Ellery yesterday. Schuker. Julio Cesar, a young Brazilian defender. From another Spanish club, Valladolid. One of three centre-backs for John Toshak tonight. A system that we used to see him employ for Swansea City all those years ago when he lifted the Swans from the 4th to the old First Division. The start of his skill in management has been appreciated, particularly on the Iberian Peninsula. Seedorf. Smith was telling you, played in his testimonial match. Morientes, no flag. Seedorf was with Sampdoria then. Has a business interest in a chain of Indian restaurants. Maybe it's the Indian food that keeps him running. Grimondi. Vieira. Uti. To Seedorf. The Dutchman coming up with some Bergkamp-like skill of his own. Clarence Seedorf turned aside by Manninger.
Great skill, wasn't it? Nice football. Here he gets him in the box. He's backing Lee up. Lovely little dummy there. And Alex just tipping over.
Teach that at the Ajax Academy then.
They must do. They must do. Mario Melchiot's got that one up his sleeve.
Seen him yet at Chelsea, haven't we?
No.
He's on crutches the last time I saw him.
Playing this evening, Martin, in the reserve.
Good news for the Chelsea fans. Guti. Silvino. Powerful presence of Patrick Vieira. That's a cracking pass. And Nigel Winterburn, who doesn't say too much, but one or two facial expressions in his repertoire to get his point across. Testimonial or no testimonial, nothing been given away cheaply at that particular moment by
wonderful vision, Martin, was it? Wonderful vision there from Patrick Vieira.
Lee Dixon looking for a goal. And, testimonial men on their given night often get one, of course. Bergkamp. Underway by Roberto Carlos. Of course with his left foot, although it was way onto his right side.
Exactly.
Very good crowd tonight. And so it should be for a really dependable character. He probably should have won more than his 22 caps. He was very unlucky for Euro 92 when he called into the squad and then went out for an extra training run near his own home and picked up an injury that kept him out of that tournament. A tournament England really suffered in, as Graham Taylor would tell you, without a recognised right back. I remember Keith Curl played a game there, and David Batty played against Sweden at right time. Lee Dixon was injured watching at home. Vieira. Grimondi. They cheer every time he touches it. And bend across towards Schuker.
Wasn't the worst ball in the world either. I think if that would have been a typically English centre forward, I think we'd have seen someone coming in on that. It's not a bad ball from Lee there.
They don't have a typically English centre forward here. They do something tight, do they?
No, they don't. They do have some wonderful football.
One that they sold yesterday, playing very well, John Hartson, who looks very sharp for Wimbledon at the moment.
Yeah, I didn't see the game. We were playing ourselves, unfortunately.
Silvino. from Schuker. And it goes up into Ronald Morientes. He and Raul have been doing their utmost to get goals. No real failing in that department. He's got 9 already this season in all competitions. But the defending that's rather let John Toshak's team down. In Europe, they've done all that could be expected of them. Such high standards expected. The legendary Real Madrid. Roberto Carlos. Morientes. Control was good. Finish not quite to the same standard. But a little cameo of his quality.
Brilliant football. Steve McManaman involved, but what a pass there from Roberto Carlos. Morientes makes a great run off the back of Matthew Upson. Unfortunately for him, the ball's just over the top. We'll see it once again. Good ball skills. Comes inside Matthew onto Matthew's weaker right side and just puts it over the top.
Good workout for the likes of Matthew Upson, who I know is frustrated that he still can't get in on a regular basis. One of only a couple of Englishmen signed by Arsene Wenger, brought here from Luton.
He's an extremely talented young man, Martin. I think the lessons he's obviously learned off of the likes of a Tony Adams and a Martin Keown will be invaluable for him. But this is a good workout for him because he won't come across movement such as that of Morientes week in and week out. He's got great movement as Morientes, so he'll have to keep on his toes.
He's always on his toes. Well over 500 games, 3 times a champion with Arsenal. Rimondi, Bergkamp. Schuker is looking very lively, as if he just wants to send a message back to Real Madrid. They could still maybe have had him. Actually, I looked at a Spanish magazine this morning, Ray, that was printed at the start of the season. It said Davor Schuker had left and gone to Coventry.
Really?
Now, I just wonder whether John Toshak had said, well, we've sent him to Coventry because I'm not speaking to him.
Every chance.
Still struggling for full fitness there. Chance for Vieira, goal for Vieira. A mistake by Caranca. To wide acclaim at Highbury. It's Arsenal 1. Real Madrid 0.
Yeah, 2 fabulous midfield players. A great pass here. Caranca does make a poor mistake, but Vieira keeps on running. A little toe poke through Bizzari's, I think it goes through Bissari's legs, I've got to say. There we see it. Caranca should really have headed that the other way. That's a wonderful finish there from Patrick Vieira. Excellent stuff.
Well, he will enjoy a game tonight because he's not going to get many over the next few weeks.
Quite right. It's funny, but a testimony probably wouldn't suit Patrick's game, actually, because he likes that competitive side, and a lot of testimonies, the physical aspect of it goes out the window.
Here's McManaman, who's got to put some physical work in here to catch the eye of Kevin Keegan. There was some suggestion that Ray Parlour might be given an outing, also from England's point of view, but I guess by the fact that he's not in the starting lineup, and just checking the list of substitutes, he's not on the bench either. Maybe all is not quite right yet with Ray. I think he's missed the last 3 Arsenal games. Arsene Wenger suggesting that earlier today that he might be okay for the week on Wednesday, but not for this coming Saturday. Fedor, Bergkamp getting a piece of it. There goes Caranca. Always great to be that ground when Roberto Carlos is playing. One can only wish Real Madrid a free kick or 2 on the edge of the area. I hope the Arsenal fans won't mind me saying that.
I think Alex Meninga will be relishing that back tonight. I've got to say, Steve McManaman has really looked at home. I know this, people say this is only a testimonial, but he's looked at home with the rest of the players. His movement's been very good. Roberto Carlos can't stop giving him the ball. He wants him on the ball all the time. So very encouraging from Steve's point of view. Seems to be settling very nicely in Spain.
Well, you might remember Steve scoring a wonderful goal on this ground at the right-hand end that gave Liverpool a 1-0 win only a couple of years ago. Took it from a throw-in and just looped it. You know, I guess it must have been David Seaman. Here is McManaman. He was pointing out what a good record Liverpool had at Highbury during his time. Ivan Campo. Worth the admission price, Roberto Carlos. He should be available for testimonials for many years.
Yes, he should.
Stops finishing.
Couldn't agree
He
more.
stops playing seriously, I mean. From against Lee Dixon as well. That's a bit unfair, I suppose. It's a fun night, really, provided by some very, very fine footballers in honour of a fine servant. McManaman and Roberto Carlos. The giving tonight's beneficiary a bit of cover there. McManaman's corner. The header collected by Seedorf. Guti, who made a difference when he came on in the second half on Saturday.
He looks identical to Redondo.
He's one of the injured players that they've got. Nicholas Anelka's out as well. Bodo Ilsner, their German goalkeeper. Fabio, another Brazilian.
He looks a super player, doesn't he?
Michel Salgado, who played for Celta Vigo against English opposition very well too, against Aston Villa and Liverpool. Julio Cesar, he is the former Brazilian World Cup player of the same name. This is a younger defender. And here's an older defender of wonderful value. Guti. Julio Cesar. Ljungberg's header. Beautiful touch from Bergkamp. Vieira chucked in the air in disappointment that he couldn't carry it on by finding Schuker, who was working his favourite inside left channel then, Croatian. And just stopping Roberto Carlos picking out Morientes a second time.
It's interesting to see Morientes' body language. As soon as Roberto Carlos gets that with a bit of time and space, he's looking to pull on people's shoulders.
Oh, Manu Petit. Wonderful whip and dip on the shot. And it actually came down from quite a height onto the top of the net.
I looked as if it was going a mile over, didn't it? Long diagonal pass there from Lee Dixon. Comes back. With the first touch on his chest, Manu Petit. What a volley. Unlucky. Bizzarri's looking at it and he was flabbergasted. I think he'd actually hit the goal.
Guti. Delgado. This time from Schuker. Originally, Lee Dixon's testimonial match should have been played on the Monday night after Arsenal completed the double in 1998, the previous Saturday, but because of the risk that there might have been a replay needed, police wouldn't allow him to have it then, which was a great shame. Of course, it would have been a plum occasion. Roberto Carlos, oh, and the first time effort from Guti, corner.
Great pass from Roberto Carlos. Great pass. Spots Guti coming in round about the penalty spot and just drills it across. And there's Guti definitely over the top. I think Alex must have got a pass for that, Alex Manninga. A happy young chap.
A couple of headers, one in the Arsenal penalty area. The second from Guerra. Was headed back by Caranca. Vieira. Fan club in full cry again. Petit. Tidily for Lee Dixon to have the game this week. And with the playoffs, it became a game we're delighted to televise because our Monday night football would have been Newcastle against Everton, in deference to international commitments. Everyone at Sky Sports who's helped arrange the picture for the Monday, pleased to switch it back to the Sunday, though it couldn't be shown to you all as a live game. But it certainly helped out Evan Keegan and Craig Brown.
Very difficult now to arrange any sort of testimony, Martin, with the fixture pile up. Very tough.
Of course, you had one with Dennis Wise at the start of the season. I suppose that's maybe the more obvious time, the last pre-season game.
Yeah, well, Dennis was absolutely delighted. He got a full house there at Stamford Bridge and was thrilled with his occasion. And it would seem that would probably be the lucky day for us.
Used the expression a couple of times tonight, a dying breed, Lee Dixon. Maybe, of course, we won't find players at this level staying with one club for the length of time.
I think you're exactly right there, Martin. I think that his testimonials will start to fade out rather rapidly.
Money has arrived in the pay packet now for Premiership players, the top players in Spain's Primera Liga as well. This is Morientes, and Guti gets the goal. No, he doesn't. It's offside. No charity.
That may be a testimony of Oscar. You could see his annoyance. What a great pass from Steve McManaman. Morientes well onside. Yep, you'd have to say that was offside. He was annoyed.
Ahead of the man who was playing it in, Morientes. Madrid get a corner, they're still 1-0 down. Patrick Vieira for Arsenal. Played off for the corner. Steve McManaman. And why did he do that?
You've ruined your night, hasn't he, Karim?
Yes. Taking it away from Roberto Carlos, who was about to pull the trigger. Here's Guti. Frustrated a moment or two ago. Stops it from Guerra. Silvinho. Campo, Guti. Definitely hoping that Manninger would get there, which he did. McManaman. Wanting the ball, showing plenty of mobility. Guti. Oh.
Is Dermot going to book him?
We haven't mentioned Dermot Gallagher, who's doing the honours tonight. Once got into trouble the authorities for not being strict enough with Steve Bold in a game. Might even been against Chelsea on this ground, but it's Lee Dixon who's the beneficiary of some proper refereeing generosity tonight.
Didn't fancy being in that warm Arsenal, Allianz.
Well, this is the moment we've been trying to set up for you. As Roberto Carlos sets up a free kick, and Seedorf is going to just nick it from him. He is. Let's get a word from one of the England squad with strong Highbury connections. Martin Keown is with Nick Collins.
Well, Martin, as a member of the Arsenal back four that Lee Dixon has served so well, how pleased are you that he's enjoying a night like this?
Yeah, it's a fantastic tribute for Lee. He's been a great servant for the club. In a time, perhaps in an age when we might not see this sort of thing again. Players staying for this number of years at the club, and he's won everything you can win in the game, and it's fantastic to see so many fans come out tonight to pay tribute.
And, I mean, he's managed to keep his form and fitness year after year, hasn't he?
He looks like he's going to go on forever. It's hardly finished now, and he's a very fit guy. His positional sense has always been outstanding. You know, he's one of many leaders in the present team, and let's hope he can go on for a little bit longer.
Of course, you're not playing tonight because of England commitments. Looking forward to getting together in the week that's coming up.
Well, we should leave. There's a group of us that will leave here tonight and go away to play that game. And you know, I wish we could play it tomorrow, the way I feel at the moment. But we'll have to wait. I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be a great game.
Wish you luck. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you.
Martin Keown echoing the anticipation that everyone is feeling. Silvino. What are your memories of playing for England against Scotland?
Some good and some bad ones, Martin, I'd have to say. Playing against my good friend Mr. Souness wasn't a pleasant occasion, it has to be said. But no, thankfully I think on the winning side slightly more than the losing side, but always a fabulous occasion. I think for supporters it's a wonderful occasion.
Silvino. It's a force of pressing, I guess. Roberto Carlos for a place in the Brazilian team. Been in the squad a few times, Silvino. Dixon's cross. And the goalkeeper, rather typifying a problem that Real Madrid have had in that position this season. Schuquez very keen to be amongst the goal getters tonight, I think, more than the goal makers, but in the end he does dig out a cross. Vieira, Bergkamp. Gusta took it from him, but he loses down to Manu Fati. Winterburn. And Salgado. There was a man over, and it was Steve McManaman. Bimondi. Work by Arsenal. Dixon all the way across to Winterburn. Now Petit trying to take it on the burst. Didn't quite get it right.
First touch just let him down for the first time I think this evening, Martin. Manu Petit looks a real class actor.
I just go back to what you were saying about England, Scotland and being great for the supporters. Is it not great for the players? Is the tension a real problem?
It can get a bit too much, Martin. I think with the hype that's probably going to go on this week, we'll probably see, I would imagine, a bit of a low key. I sincerely hope not, but it's certainly going to be hype to the hill. Well, I think you can safely say, Martin, the two sets of players that will enter onto the field will certainly do the game justice, and it'll be played at a pretty hot tempo.
I think the players are doing the game justice here tonight as well. Never easy to quite get the balance right in testimonials. McManaman! And Manning able to deal with the deflection. It stopped Steve McManaman stepping in for an equaliser.
I've got to say he's done very well, Steve. The movement's been exceptional. He looks to have that old thinking trickery back as well.
from his third count. Definitely offside. The sort of thing you get booked for now in the Premiership.
Yeah,
the whistle's gone.
It's a thrill for the supporters to see the shot go in the ball. Great skill. There we go. We can always get the ball back.
Always a move from the fans at the clock end. Some changes in the second half, but the number 8 on the ball here at Ljungberg. There's another number 8 shirt, we understand, being laid out tonight. A former occupant, a certain Ian Wright, who's been up to his antics, we're told, in the Arsenal dressing room, threw the kit out of the window at one point. That was the reason we had a bit of a delay before Arsenal appeared.
Can't keep the man down.
No.
Interesting to hear Ian's comments of the Old Firm derby yesterday. His first one, and obviously on the losing side.
Of course, he wants to use this opportunity to say a personal farewell to the Arsenal fans. Didn't really have the chance to do that when his move to West Ham went through. More on Ian Wright later. Plenty of them up and down the land. Stay tuned. See, by Seydorf. Morientes, good movement towards the ball. And a little lesson for Matthew Upson. You might have thought that the call would have gone out to Steve Bold tonight, and of course it did, to maybe fill in the Arsenal back line as a guest player, but the technicality that's keeping him out. He's actually suspended, and we had all this situation with the Alex Ferguson testimonial match when Mark Hughes and Paul Gascoigne played when they should have done. It does seem a pretty officious rule, but still, that's why Steve Bold can't play.
Pretty sad state of affairs now, isn't it, really? Just to show a bit of respect for a team. Oh, well.
What the official match was for Southampton, but there was one. And Ryan Gascoigne and Mark Hughes playing that match at Old Trafford. Raised so much for the charities supported by Sir Alex Ferguson.
And a great night. I think everybody had a whale of a time now. As they have in this evening.
Really excellent shoot, they're saying. Well, Madrid aren't saying that to him. Schuker. Vieira. Petit. Silvino getting a foot in, back to Petit. Still they can't carve out the chance that Schuker seems to be craving. Silvino. Schuker. Well, John Toshak might be interested in what's coming up on Sky Sports later this week, particularly the FA Cup tie involving his own old mate Brian Flynn, who's the manager of Wrexham. And Wrexham not going too well at the moment. They're involved in a replay at Sky Sports 2 at Kettering of the conference. And then the Victory Shield, Scotland, England at schoolboy level. All happening this week one way or the other. The old tonight, the young on Thursday, Sky Sports 1. And the main men on Saturday and next Wednesday. Remember, you'll see both of those playoff games for a place in the Euro 2000 finals live on Sky Sports. Christian Carambeu of the French World Cup squad, amongst a few Frenchmen here tonight, comes on to Real Madrid.
Salgado was the one that's been taken off. Martin must be feeling something.
Rosenberg has gone to the right-hand side. Guti. Stuff off Grimondi. Rosenberg. Hanneman trying the trick against Upson that didn't quite come off. Guti. Here's Roberto Carlos. That's a brilliantly disguised pass. Well, I must say I'd like to see an angle on that if we can show whether that was offside or not. First instincts were that it wasn't, but
probably too quick for his own good, Martin, but what a pass, as you quite rightly stated. Wonderful disguise.
Here's Schuker. Ball of some quality into the feet of Bergkamp. And that's a quick sleight of foot. And Cesare, this goalkeeper from Argentina.
Great skill
makes the
from
save.
Dennis. Gets in a nice turn, keeps moving the ball off its line. Fabulous forward play. Good save actually from Cesare. Dennis' third attempt, 2 on target.
Here's Petit. Another chance to play it to the left-hand side to Silvino, and Petit's given offside. Ray, all congratulations to Chelsea, your club, for progressing in the Champions League, but it's a bit of an issue at the moment. The demands of this format involving Arsenal, of course, have gone out. Real Madrid have won their group, but what a handicap it might be. You're finding it hard to get league points.
Yeah, that's right. I think everybody's suffered. You look at Barcelona, you look throughout Europe in actual fact, sides that have actually had to go away and play. More often than not have struggled, Martin, and we're no exception. We've had a couple of disappointing performances.
Winterberg. And Dixon. He's got to go for it. It almost dropped for Schuker. Vieira. By Elguera. And it's stayed off. 4 forward for Real Madrid here. There's no flag. It's Morientes. And Seydorf, who was being watched by Matthew Upson, couldn't quite reach the cross. But it was Lee Dixon at the other end who got the crowd going.
Yeah, a long time to see it, didn't he? It's a good ball in, and there's Lee. It's a super volley in actual fact. Just hitting Davor Suker in the midriff. And here's Morientes getting on the ball. It's a fabulous ball across the box. Unfortunately, just a touch too hard for Seydorf.
And we're told that at half-time on Saturday evening, when Real Madrid were losing, Lorenzo Santos, the president who's here tonight, was arranging a board meeting with the obvious assumption that John Toshak was going to be sacked. I don't suppose it would be the same if Real Madrid go in at half-time here tonight.
No, let's hope not, Martin, anyway. But I've got to say, it's a very difficult situation for managers to work under, thinking that, one poor performance. I know they haven't been playing that well, but they've done well in the Champions League. One poor league performance can actually cost you your job, and to actually hear that that's going on must be very off-putting and very disturbing when you're trying to work very hard with the side.
As John, of course, is. And to use his own words, he says whoever's in charge of Real Madrid, it's only a caretaking position. Some get to take care of it longer than others.
You've got to put him down as being a realist.
Well, he's been there before, of course, hasn't he?
Of course.
John Toshak always had a sense of telepathy with Kevin Keegan. Kevin's current thoughts about the playoffs. Vieira was waiting on the left. Julio Cesar. Brazilian, that's why it's Julio, not Julio, in case anyone wants to write to me. Bergkamp. Petit. Snapping around the knee. I do feel for Arsenal to really come up with some silverware at the end of the season. They need Petit and Vieira to play in the majority of matches when Patrick Vieira's suspension is served.
I think as a midfield two, as a pivotal two, they're absolutely fantastic. Brilliant. They are so valuable to us.
Ljungberg, who developed very well with Sweden, and their tremendous success in blazing a trail at the Euro 2000 finals. Always had the opportunity he's wanted at Highbury. That will surely come with Vieira's absence, although unless Mr. Ellery changes his mind, Freddie's got a ban of his own to deal with. So 5 minutes to go to half-time, the one goal for Arsenal. Away by Patrick Vieira, who scores for the second day in a row, of course. The header at White Hart Lane. No shot tonight after a weak header by Karanka. And on the move again. Ball for Schuker, first time to Bergkamp, 2-0, top quality play from Arsenal.
What a fabulous goal. It's a great pass from Grimandi. Look at his touch on the volley, beautiful pass there from Schuker. And just a toe poke there from Dennis Bergkamp. Beautiful football, good movement off the ball, great first touch. And there's Dennis slightly under Bizzarri in goal.
One touch from Schuker, two touches from Bergkamp, 2-0 to Arsenal. That's Sanchez, the veteran, coming on for Real Madrid.
Alguera, I think, was
replacing, yes indeed,
a young man,
15, Ivan Alguera. Here come Arsenal again. And Lee Dixon is making a run into a central striking position. He'll be having a word with Nigel Winterburn about the quality that time. A long way back for Lee. And McManaman to exploit the place in the vacant right-back role. He's actually picked up that position, but Seedorf hasn't picked up the possibilities with a different sort of pass that didn't come off. Well, it's an occasion very much worthy of Lee Dixon and his friends and his family here tonight. He looked away in disgust with himself then. Karamba. Father Roy, Josh and Olivia with the banner. And Dad strutting his stuff. Your kids used to say when they watch you play, Ray? Were they supportive or critical?
No, I've got to say very supportive, Martin. They're a couple of good old sticks. Never give their dad any sticks. That's a bit of a
give them a mention tonight.
Good, Ross and Jade, yeah. I think they're watching. They'll be giving me a bit of stick on my performance in that England-Scotland game.
As always, your performance as a co-commentator, the polish that you've shown so often on the field.
You've got to be good at something, mate, or attempt to be good at something.
Well, you're getting plenty of practice at the moment.
Yeah, I'm Jerry Springer at the moment.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, quite. I thought I might hear keys coming down these headphones.
On television more often than Jerry Springer, that's the nickname. Jerry Wilkins, nearly as often as Richard Keys. Ljungberg.
We've seen a tremendous commitment, I've got to say, Martin, from both sides. You know, the movement, the passing and movement's been terrific. There's Freddie there. Just can't get it, just a little bit taken for time there. But we've seen a good commitment from both sides. The movement and the passing's been exceptional.
And the speed of the game, because once it drops to maybe a less than realistic pace, it's hard to commentate on, I must say, and also for the fans to follow.
No question.
Half-time. Lee Dixon pleased with the attendance, with the shape of the game, certainly with the shape of the scoreline. Goals in the first half for Patrick Vieira and for Dennis Bergkamp. That was a lovely goal, the second for Arsenal, and plenty to look forward to. Ian Wright to come in the second half. We'll be back with a lot more for coming. And Kanu is with us. He was a doubt because he picked up an injury yesterday, but he doesn't want to miss out on this occasion. Mark Overmars as well. So it's hardly a weakening of the team, Ray.
Yep, and Stephen Hughes is out there. Nelson Vivas is even out there, coming down here at left full-back. So a number of changes, but doesn't weaken the side, it has to be said, Martin. Some wonderfully gifted lads coming on in their places.
Vivas of Argentina's World Cup squad in France '98. Raúl was there in a pretty disastrous time for Spain.
And I think we've got Raúl as well, just coming on, just pulling his socks up there.
And then on the far side, Morientes is still there, so Real Madrid's first choice attackers, with the greatest respect to Nicolas Nelka. Reunited at the start of the second half. Koshak's going to mount a serious attempt to get this 2-goal deficit back. They were 2 down at half-time on Saturday night in much more serious circumstances. And they scored within seconds of the restart, against the leaders of Spain's Primera Liga, Rayo Vallecano. Julio Cesar. Poor kick from the goalkeeper. Kanu. Plenty of Arsenal players are forward here. Overmars. He's been finding goals hard to come by in the Premiership this season, but scored against Spanish opposition at Wembley recently in Barcelona. Got 2 in that dead rubber of a match in Solna, near Stockholm last week. Carombe. Even Campo. Roberto Carlos. First real involvement for Raúl. Here from 1860 Munich in the summer, and to learn really from the sidelines a lot about what Arsenal are all about. Decided midfield player. He's in from the wide left, in a position that Stephen Hughes is also a candidate to play in as well. See how they dovetail here, 2 similar players. Hughes back from a unhappy loan spell with Fulham. Here's Roberto Carlos. Morientes.
Excellent defending there from Matthew Upson. Stayed on his feet and won the ball very well on the edge of the box. Terrific.
Here's Schuker. Kanu. Get a word from one of our touchline reporters, Nick Collins. Nick.
Well, Martin, you know, we were talking about why the game was delayed because Ian Wright had thrown some of the Arsenal shirts out of the dressing room window. Well, just to give you a bit more on that, they actually landed in the street and the fans went off with them. The players couldn't actually get them back, so they had to print out a whole new set of shirts. That's why the game was late kicking off.
Oh, welcome back, Righty.
What's he like? What a character. I didn't get too shirty with it.
Over Mars. Kanu. Ray Wilkinson want to mention his name.
No, we can mention his name. That was. I'll have to put that down to a good clearance there from Lee. Great skill there from Kanu, and here comes Lee trying his luck from all the 30 yards on the way.
Anker's given it away to Overmars. Here is Kanu. Can he finish it?
Let's hope so.
And he's still. How does he do it? Men of that height aren't supposed to have this sort of touch or balance.
No, this was brilliant. What's the reaction of Ivan Campo here? As he jumps in with a double-footed challenge now. He's not best pleased that Kanu made him look rather silly on the edge of the box, but that was his problem for diving in. You dive in at someone like Kanu at your peril. Great ball skills.
I was at the game at Stamford Bridge, and what impressed me at the end, and I'm sure Ray would echo it, Gianluca Vialli, and typical of him. Well, that's what football is all about, magical moments and skill, and praise the quality of what Kanu did without highlighting any Chelsea deficiencies and losing that 2-0 lead in such extraordinary circumstances.
Yeah, that's Luca through and through, but it was wonderful skill from Kanu.
Petit. Overmars. From the England point of view, Steve McManaman still out there for Real Madrid. Too much of him yet in the second half.
Taking up some great positions, Martin, but the ball's not coming.
Now they're calling for Ian Wright.
He's going to get the shirts.
That's one way to retain your popularity, isn't it? Sprinkle a bit of kit around the followers. And Vic Akers is a great part of the Arsenal set up here, the kit man. I wonder what his view of that is. Bit of extra work for Vic tonight. Finding Guti. McManaman, now he's got on the ball. Karamba. Guti. Real Madrid players very, very impressed with the quality of the playing surface when they arrive. Nicely at times. Created one or two chances in the first half. Had a goal disallowed or offside. Guti. 20 players forward for Real Madrid here. Roberto Carlos booming in the cross. Cannon-Burt. Sanchis. Real Madrid character is father captain the club. We've heard all sorts of testimony for Lee Dixon tonight, but here's a different kind from David Seaman.
David, if you think of Lee Dixon's many great achievements, what do you think of the most?
I think, all his medals, but no, his own goals.
Which has been the pick of them, would you say?
His best one has got to be Coventry at home. I think at the start of the season, about a minute had gone if that, and Lee decided to pass it back to me. In the days when you could pass it back and pick it up, but Lee knocked it straight over my head, and it was one of Coventry.
What sort of distance did he manage?
It was further out than 9. But he's had a few as well. You know, he's had 2 others. I think he had one at Millwall once, and he had another good one at Ipswich. A header this time.
How pleased are you for him? How much did he deserve tonight?
It's fantastic. You know, like when you see players that are at this club, you know, that long, not just being at the club, you know, being so successful as well. You know, with his England cap and that as well. You know, it's great for Arsenal. It's great for me.
I can't let you go before asking you about Scotland and England. How much are you looking forward to that?
I can't wait. You know, like, this week's going to be the longest week ever. But you know, once we get into it, we need to go to the result up there, get back to London, and hopefully do the stuff there. Thank you.
Very nice tribute from David Seaman. Again, open more appetites if they need any more wetting about quite Saturday. Gutti's pass to Raul. Back for Gutti again. His mind about hitting it first time.
He looks a real player, Guti, doesn't he? Wonderful left foot. There's something about left-sided players, they look so more elegant, don't they, when they're on the ball. And this young man certainly looks a real player. Look at that intelligent position taken up by Raul. Realising that Roberto Carlos has a long throw and went and stood at least 15 yards behind any defender. Bit unfortunate not to receive the ball.
Knowing that he couldn't be offside. Schuker's touch in keeping with some of the enchantment of the evening tonight. Top quality technicians giving us their time and their energy. All honour. As I said at the start, it's not the most fashionable of positions to right back. But Lee Dixon has been a real credit to that position. In the modern game, you have to cover so much ground.
You certainly do, Martin, and it is testimony to his fitness and his playing ability that he's lasted so long. And he looks as if he can carry on for a good few seasons more.
Well, he'll be very pleased you said that, Ray, with his contract up at the end of the season.
I'm not Arsene Wenger, though, Martin. I'd give him it, but...
Well, all great things have to come to an end, I guess, and Arsene Wenger has, on a serious note, got to decide how he eventually phases out the great back line that's been such a brick wall against so many opponents. McManaman.
I think we can safely say, Martin, that if he doesn't receive that extended contract at Arsenal, there will be plenty of takers out.
Yes, speaking to Lee earlier today, he would love to finish his career here. He loves the club. But I suppose Steve Bold, a second example, you would have thought that he might end his playing days at Highbury. He was wonderful in a rearguard action at the Riverside that I was able to witness on Saturday. Another cut to the head, stitches. Sunderland to a point with a depleted team. And that's the strength of the English game I think he's got to learn. Julio Cesar. Kananka. Over 10 minutes played in the second half. The 2 first half goals for Arsenal from Vieira and Bergkamp. Hughes. Here's Dixon. Kanu. A cushion pass for Petit, who rised the challenges and then only picked out the defenders with the pass. Guti is probing again. Morientes, there's no flag. Great chance for Real Madrid, and a fine save by Alex Manninger.
Superb save. Matthew Upton steps out there as Morientes makes the run to come in and block the pass, but Vivas has stayed in. It's a good finish from Morientes, but Alex Manninger very, very sharp. Back in.
A man of restless energy. Ian Wright getting ready for his big entrance. Is that Bergkamp?
There's a good contest out there. Yeah, it was Lee Dixon, yeah. Good contest out there, over Mars against Roberto Carlos. Two real speed merchants.
Calling for Ian Wright.
Probably trying to shake off a bit of stiffness after yesterday's exertions.
With a goal in his first game for Celtic, and the next one a different kettle of fish. And he knows where the cameras are. McManaman, and Raoul had the shot set up by Steve McManaman. Oh, it's Cardo. Or Schuker. Mounts is going to the near post. The ball went as well. Cleared by Karanka.
It's a shame that fizzled out. What a pass there from Cano.
Dixon. Have another shot, they're saying, and that was better than the last one.
It had to be, didn't it? He's never had so many shots, has he, Lee? Here he comes once again on the angle. That's not a bad strike. That's his third of the evening.
He's at 22 goals in his 527 games for Arsenal. He was the penalty taker for a while.
According to Dave Seaman, they've all been own goals.
They were scarce. Now everyone's getting own goals.
He used to score a few penalties, didn't he?
He did. He scored a few, I have to tell you, against Chelsea. Four goals of his 22, I think, against Chelsea, in one way or another. Gucci.
Must have been lucky.
Mouse. And over is Schuker again, as with the Bergkamp goal, first time pass, great appreciation of the runner, couldn't send over Martin on goal. Tries to go it himself, Petit almost getting in the way. Well, they're enjoying the opportunity to embroider the evening with those sort of intricate patterns.
It is nice, Martin, they can get out and they can do a bit of skill. It doesn't come off, it's not the be all and end all. It's a great occasion. You can see the lads are really enjoying it.
And it must beat training.
Definitely beats training, I can assure you. Just to get out there, nice crowd out as well, so it's a very enjoyable occasion.
If you don't get to train on the billiard table of the Highbury pitch.
You certainly don't. But I believe the new training ground is something just a little bit special.
Talk about those standards. Vivas. Getting a bit close to each other then, that could be a disastrous scenario. Now an Austrian international, Alex Manninger. Well, that's as far as it goes for Steve McManaman. He's had an hour tonight, and he'll head off for Burnham Beaches and the England squad, and good luck to him. And the Arsenal fans recognising what he's put into this evening. And let's hear from Ian Wright. We've seen a bit of him. He's talking to Jeff Shreves.
Ian, you just can't wait to get out there, can you?
Yeah, it sounds really good. You know, it sounds fantastic out there. It's a great crowd, considering we lost yesterday at Tottenham and that, but, you know, it's not a problem, really.
You say we, you're not here anymore.
Well, you know, it's still like that, you know what I mean? I'm a Celtic player now, and that is a blessing, really, but, you know, Arsenal being back here now like this, it brings it all back, you know what I mean?
What does it mean to you, though? Because it's your last chance to say goodbye, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it means a lot to me, and, you know what I mean, like I said, I'm just going to come and play. I would have come and play anyway, you know what I mean? And I'm sure, like, if there's some testimonials in the future, I must probably come again, but this, for me, at the moment, looks like the last opportunity.
Right. Okay, I'll have a word with the bench, see if we can get you on now.
Get me on, you know what I mean? It's time, right?
Okay, let's bring the legend back.
Get me back on, get me involved. Yeah.
Ian Wright has the final word there.
It wasn't Jeff Shreves the true red, was it?
And one of our reporters who has a slight leaning towards Arsenal. When Ian Wright said we lost yesterday, he wasn't referring to Celtic, obviously. Julio Cesar, Carambert.
Another interesting Arsenal young man come on, Vanazza. He's come on for Manu Petit.
Kanu. Oh, Schuker. A chance to score against Real Madrid. And it was well played. Bizzarri, who was exposed here. Black stayed down.
Definitely onside. I thought he was going to take that over the top of Bizzarri from the position that he took up. But wasn't to be.
Yes, you mentioned Paolo Vanazza. Viewers who don't know him might think, oh, another foreigner for Arsenal, but he's from Islington, of Italian origin, as you might guess, but very much a local boy. Kanu, playing it into space that he knew Overmars had the acceleration to fill. Hughes on the edge of the area, and Schuker.
E2, young man come on there for Real Madrid.
From the Cameroon. Number 16, here's Carambert. Here he is, Ito. Vanazza, Kanu. And they won't catch Overmars. Can he finish it? And Bizzarri improving his stock with John Toshak. It's not been at its highest. He's made mistakes in crucial games. This, of course, isn't a crucial one, but he is showing the calibre of his goalkeeping.
It's fantastic passing and moving, I've got to say. Overmars took that from a mile away, and Kanu just rolled it in his path. Tremendous football. Bizzarri was equal to it. He started off a little bit sticky with the young man in goal, but he's done well last couple of occasions.
He's from Argentina. He was red-carded recently against Atletico Madrid.
Probably not the best game.
Not the best result after a long time. I think a lot longer than the Spurs win against Arsenal and Atletico win against Real Madrid, but both have happened recently.
I think it was Martin Keown was talking about Lee.
Sorry, just to cut across you there, Lee Dix getting no charity from Guti. Sorry, Martin Keown.
That's what it's all about. Yeah, we're talking about Lee Dixon's positional sense. Well, we just saw it when I think it was Raul was just about to take it on his chest. In pop Lee from the right full-back spot and gave him no chance at all.
Roberto Carlos, Kanu claiming handball, but Dermot Gallagher has patrolled the evening with a kindly eye, as you would expect. Carambert. Sanchez. Caranca. Ball by Sanchez, and Morientes close to connecting with the cross, back by Carambert. Raul, it was a very difficult ball to try and keep down. He did superbly to manage that. It cost him a bit of power, but they've got a corner. Also Carlos declining to shoot from the corner. Gets extravagant dip. He might shoot from here. Yes. That's given away by Schuker. Ito. Carambert. There's a bit of pressure from Real Madrid. We're going to get a word with Steve McManaman in a moment. Maybe a chance to do that now.
Steve, you just come off. How did you feel it went that first hour?
Yeah,
feel really I didn't very well, you know, my fitness and everything, as much as it's still only a testimonial, you know, we've got a good hour, so everything's very good.
And we talked beforehand, obviously, and Kevin Keegan had said he'd hoped you were going to get the chance to have a run out, so you clearly feel that you've achieved something tonight.
Yeah, considering we played, you know, very late Saturday, and we've done a lot of travelling yesterday, you know, I feel very good, and, you know, the fact that the lads are out there, you know, shows, you know, how committed we are.
It's been really helpful getting an hour as well at this stage, hasn't it, bearing in mind what's coming up next Saturday?
Yeah, sure, yeah, I mean, as I said earlier on, you know, 5 weeks is a long time to go without football. So, you know, the most I can come in, the better, really.
Good luck, Steve. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
A substitute is being subbed as Sanchez going across, or is it? Roberto Carlos heading for the exit. Sanchez is staying on. And Javier Dorado sent on by John Toshak. So there is a serious edge to tonight, as Steve McManaman has emphasised from England's point of view. How serious Ian Wright's evening has been so far, you can judge by what he did to the Arsenal kit. He's a young man, of course. What did he turn, 36 last week?
He's 36 going on 18, I would have thought, yeah.
Going on 8. But we love him. Eto. Campo well forward. 2-0 to the Arsenal. Dixon very much a part of when 1-0 was the effective and usual result when they won. Efficiency of George Graham. And the productivity of his Arsenal team. George Graham told me last week, let's break off from that because it is time for the grand entrance of the second half. A man with a sense of theatre who says he's going into show business when football finishes. It's Ian Wright. Arsenal's all-time record goal scorer, 185 goals for this football club, shattering the previous statistics. He's in an Arsenal shirt again, and he's got 20 minutes in which to entertain the crowd and, as he says, say a few farewells along the way.
That was a very nice moment, wasn't it?
Smiling already. Goodness knows what it'd be like if he scores.
You wouldn't bet against it, Martin, would you?
Ian Wright now of Celtic. The week before he was of Nottingham Forest, courtesy of a loan from West Ham. Overmars. Great play from Mark Overmars. What a lovely header. Stefan Maltz. It might be a testimonial, but for a player who's on the fringe at Arsenal, that's a fine moment.
Yeah, I think Overmars has looked very, very sharp indeed. What a fabulous ball in. And Maltz meets it with a wonderful diving header. I think you can see the way the guys have congratulated him, how it means this evening. It may well be a testimonial, but my word, what a goal.
He has scored for Arsenal in a senior game in the Worthington Cup against Preston. Off goes Alex Manninger, and John Lukic comes back for the Arsenal goal. He's still a player here, ready when required. It has been a very well arranged evening, shall we say. You can put everything into place though, and the organisers have done a terrific job, but it's down to the players on the pitch to keep the crowd entertained, and they have done that within the proper spirit. And Real Madrid perhaps best pleased to be 3-0 down, push on with Guti. Guti, Raul, this comes Vivas, Real Madrid's throw. Chance for John Toshak to give some of his backup players some action. Canonbert trying to go through himself, he's done that. Canonbert adds to the fun of the fair.
Yeah,
3-1.
fair old finish, wasn't it? Very elaborate dummy there he sold John Lucas before putting it back in there. Got a bit of luck, got a few bubbles on the edge of the box. Here we see it. Has a little dribble, gets a bit of fortune. Yeah, he did very well, John, actually. He didn't go for it, he stood up. There he gets a little bit of fortune there. But he deserves the goal for that, doesn't he? Doing river dance,
Certainly down through to put Real Madrid on the score sheet. Just going back to George Graham, telling me when I was away with Tottenham last week about Lee Dixon, how he came across him, and I don't know, Ray, you're on the management side of things, whether this is still done, but George used to get all the football papers from around the country, the Saturday Pinks, and read up about all the clubs, and thinking that the local journalists would know a good player or two. If there was a profile, who were the players of the year at the clubs that maybe he wouldn't read about in the national press, and the name Lee Dixon came to his attention with Stoke City, along with Steve Bold, of course. And he made his move, really, on that first knowledge of Lee Michael Dixon.
Interesting. I think nowadays, Martin, probably
you're on the internet now.
Yeah, exactly. Probably the majority of clubs now have such a wide range of scouting system that they would know who's on the offer, rather than looking at the old Pinks, which were great papers, I have to say. When you think you could finish a game and then within half an hour of the game finishing, you could pick up a newspaper at the train station. Fantastic stuff.
Well, you still can in certain parts of the country, but certainly not as many as you used to be able to do. Manchester is one. There's a very good one in Birmingham as well, and Yorkshire, northeast of England, of course. And it's Ian Wright. Oh, it rolled across the face of the goal. It must be a testimonial. He's smiling when he's missed one.
It was a great ball, wasn't it, from Lee Dixon? He plays a wonderful ball in. There's Ian just pulling off the shoulder of the defender. It was a poor first touch, but that wasn't. My word, that was unlucky. Great effort. There we see it once again. He's having a little look, I think, on the big screen here at Highbury. Great touch. Unlucky.
His arms are out.
Unlucky.
But his arms aren't raised in triumph. But Julio Cesar was playing properly. He wasn't trying to contribute. The two main men, Lee Dixon and Ian Wright, were involved in that, but it was no gimme. But I don't think he's done it. I'm not sure that he was trying to stay onside. He didn't really bend his run that time.
Well, once in his life it was a poor run. I don't think Mark Overmars had the ball under that good of control, and then Ian dashed offside. The trademark of Ian Wright, the timing of his runs.
And the atmosphere at Celtic Park, which is an amazing experience to see a game there is, you would suggest, tailor-made for Ian Wright and his sense of theatre.
No question. I think for one in his twilight years, it's a lovely move for him. I think he'd be well respected in Scotland by all supporters, not only those of Celtic, but a lot, because of what he's achieved.
Rimondi. Canonbert. Sanchez. Canonbert again. Dorado with the cross, looking for Raul near post. Tiny attack from Real Madrid. Canonbert just standing with his hands on his hips there, wondering where the runner was down the left-hand side. He did play it blind.
Yes, he did. I think he expected Dorado to be bombing down the left side, but it wasn't to be.
Football on Sky Sports, Kettering against Wrexham. It's the first round replay in the AXA-sponsored FA Cup, Sky Sports 2. And on Thursday, it's the schoolboys of Scotland against England, Sky Sports 1. It's 2 days before the big event, which we're privileged to be bringing to you. Dixon with a free kick, right again.
I don't know whose testimonial this is. I think it should be the other way round. We're trying to get Lee a goal, but Lee's trying desperately to get Ian a goal. What a pass again.
Stealing the show is the expression that comes to mind. Yes, and if they get a penalty, of course, traditionally it's the man for whom the testimonial is.
I don't think Ian would go with it. I think he would let Lee take it.
Likely Dixon had a difficult start in football, didn't so he would make the top grade. He came from the non-league scene, at least the football league experience. Burnley let him go, and Chester decided he was surplus to requirements. He went to Bury, and at least Stoke paid Bury a fee for him, I think around 40,000.
Goes to show if you work hard enough at your game, what you can achieve.
Kanu would have been offside. Dorado working the left-hand side. Mounts. Kanu. Andy Dixon not perhaps at full pace, keeping up with the attack. By Mount, haven't been too many causes for Dermot Gallagher to blow the whistle tonight. Canonbert got back. Out of the Champions League, but in the UEFA Cup, and we will be able to bring you both their matches in the third round against the French club Nantes. Live on Sky Sports.
So I think playing here as well, Martin, they're going to have a very good chance in this competition. UEFA Cup. I think when they play at Highbury, they're a real force to be reckoned with.
That's a competition for our Sky digital viewers. Guti. Brought away by Vivas. Melt. Oh, shoot again is the cry. Ian Wright doesn't shrink from dealing with encouragement like that. The goal seems to have shrunk for him at the moment. Yes. I think how often I've shouted his name. Goal at the end of the Rourke. Crystal Palace and Mark Bright did so well together in South London before he crossed the river.
I think starting late was a major thing in Ian's career, purely and simply that he had so much enthusiasm once he was given the opportunity to put his skills on show, and he really has used them to the full.
I'm looking forward to the first movie that he stars with Vinnie Jones.
Ben-Hur.
Dorado. 7 minutes to go. And it's going to be Mianovic, the Yugoslav, for Morientes, who on Monday night is taken off. On Saturday night he was sent off against Vallecano for dissent. Still Real Madrid hit back to win. I don't think they'll be hitting back to win tonight, but it matters not a jot. We can only wish John Toshak good fortune and hope that Lorenzo Sanz remembers that Real Madrid have swept into the next stage of the Champions League. They're in a very difficult group with Dynamo Kiev and Bayern Munich and the Norwegian side Rosenborg. Talking a lot about the playoff between England and Scotland, but Holland as hosts qualify. Karen Seedorf and Dennis Bergkamp catching up on all the news tonight. Dixon. Cake for Lee Dixon tonight, with a good bit of icing on it. Whether there'll be just a final cherry on top, a right goal, or maybe a Lee Dixon penalty. We shall see. Here is Ian Wright for Natsa. Overmars. Kanu. Here is Dixon. Overmars for Natsa. Here is Dixon. They do rather back off him. Shot by Hughes. He was closed down.
Yeah, nice little ball there actually, with the outside of his right foot. He was really letting rip from the edge of the box. Lovely left foot he's got.
Yeah, let's hope picks up the reins again at Arsenal from his point of view. As I said earlier, his time with Fulham didn't work out. 22,486 announced as the attendance tonight. Lee Dixon was applauding that announcement as he suddenly realised he had to do a bit of defending. I think that's what he was doing, or was he claiming offside? No, it's only the one hand for offside, isn't it? Well, we talked about the demands on the players in this busy schedule, the demands on the fans we shouldn't forget. It's maybe the family night.
No, you're dead right, Martin, with that, because supporters do have to shell out a lot of finance nowadays, and I'm pleased they put a show on for them as well.
That's not the sort of show that they expect. Cannon Bird bowling over Lee Dixon. After all the time he spent here, they'd rehearse the free kick a bit better.
Just a touch.
Out by Grimondi with due efficiency. Real Madrid currently 8th in the Primera Liga. That's way below expectations. Arsenal are 4th. Essentially, say for the Arsenal fans, that's a bit below expectations as well. Two minutes left. Play their way through again with Ogenovic. Right. Julio Cesar, the party pooper.
Yeah. It was a great run as well from him. One to be found there by Nelson Vivas.
Eto, Guti, and Grimondi. A beautiful acquisition from Arsene Wenger, who knew the player well. Gilles Grimondi, who can put him in a number of positions. Can't shoot from there, despite the crowd calling for him, but he can find Ian Wright. That's the next best thing. And Wright's pass.
What a pass.
Overmars on the chase.
Yeah, he's Ian Wright picking up on half once. Another great run there from Mark Overmars. I don't know whether he was just a touch offside, but fantastic movement of the ball.
A bit of light rain falling. Certainly not dampening proceedings. Ogenovic. Hughes. And Kanu. Oh, and Wright is offside. And the gallery are still being entertained.
Kanu was desperate to give him a goal as well. Desperate. And we see a lovely little ball there from Stephen Hughes.
Was the final act on Lee Dixon's night, a player who had the tenacity to overcome a tough start in football when he bounced around the lower divisions. He had the talent to make the most of a big break when it came. The disappointments of those early days had certainly driven him on, and as long as his beloved Arsenal still want him, this remarkable right back will keep on running for the club. Thanks is the message to the camera, certainly to the crowd. Ian Wright added to the last 20 minutes or so, but it's been a fine football occasion for a very fine footballer. Final thoughts, Ray?
Yeah, I'm on through and this time, at the moment, I think it must be a very emotional time, I'd have thought, for Lee. He's been here a long, long time, and he's just going to do his own little lap of honour, but a very, very emotional time, one would have thought. He's had some tremendous things said about him from his own players, and I'm sure that goes right throughout the country as well. He's been a truly terrific professional.
Well, for the record, a 3-1 Arsenal win with goals from Vieira and Bergkamp in the first half, Mount in the second. The family reunited. Nice Joanne there as well. Pictures that Lee Dixon will, I'm sure, play over and over again, the video of this particular evening. When he's in his dotage with the pipe and the slippers, that's the value of the, I guess, the modern technology for the modern day footballer. Magical moments that can be relived, and Ian Wright joining in the applause and saying his own goodbyes. So I would suspect they'll find another occasion for him to come and play at Highbury again.
I think there's every chance of that, Martin, but for tonight it's for this man, and he's got a fantastic reception from the supporters, and thoroughly deserved as well.
round the bid have vacated the stage, but they should be congratulated for the way they approached the evening.
No question.
Well, it used to be the North Bank. But, the North Stand was grown up in Lee Dixon's time here. Thanks all round, and from the football fraternity, thanks to Lee for what he's done for the game. And as I say, it's not a finale. He wants to keep on going, and he hopes the directors and the management here at Arsenal will see some further usage for him beyond the end of this particular season. Almost 12 years an Arsenal player. A bargain buy and a very decent guy. My thanks to Ray Wilkins. It's all yours.
Wonderful night. Wonderful night.